Hi, everyone. I'm Lee Carroll.
And I'm Monika Monika.
We are here in August of 2023 in reaction to the tragedies that have happened recently in the Hawaiian Islands, and specifically the ones that we saw in Maui. And so we wanted to just give a little time of comfort and meditation and love to all of those, and this is so perhaps you could join us. That's the reason that we're both.
Yeah, and we are so aware that there are also fires happening throughout the world in other places, and there's also other incidents happening around the world. We still have no resolution between Russia and the Ukraine, and there's also the ongoing human trafficking. There's so many issues that are happening, and Carroll said earlier at the beginning of this year that we're in the year of recovery, and indeed there are many stages of recovery, but our purpose for today is to focus on those who are going through the recovery phase now from those fires in Maui, and of course everyone else is included, but many people have been asking, what does Carroll say about fires? And I thought I would just put that question to Lee to explain why you haven't heard anything from Carroll about that subject.
You know, we have to put this in context because people always ask what Carroll says about whatever happens that's especially bad on the planet. And it's all, you know, we are trained in a way that we think when there's a catastrophe that God did it. And in other words, there's some punishment involved. This is our programming, folks, and this is just kind of how we feel about it. Things happen, and Carroll has said it's about, anytime I've ever asked Carroll, what does this mean? When a whole town is wiped off the map in a tornado in our country, and it's just happened, and such a tragedy, said, what does it mean? And Carroll says, this is the time to practice the greatest compassion you have. So Carroll never says, it's because of this, it's because of that. We live on an earth that is changing. Things happen with us, to us, and sometimes these are lessons so that in recovery, we rebuild differently, we learn things or whatever. But the point is, it is a focus on compassion, on kindness, on love. Carroll always goes there first. So there's never any reasons, for instance, given, because there often aren't reasons. So it's not like God is looking down and, as we were told, perhaps throwing a switch and destroying towns and things. This is biblical. This is what we were all told. This is not what happened. So we have our precious family in Hawaii who have gone through things. And the reason I'm so invested in this, and I'll just tell you, and most of you don't know the background here. My first trip to Hawaii, I was 14. Now, you're going to start adding up numbers, and go ahead. It's all right with me if you know my age, but I was 1954. And things were different then. Very, very different. The tourism in Hawaii was really just getting started. It was only 10 years after the war. So what we're looking at here is a very long lineage of Lee Carroll in Hawaii. I went back as often as I could because when I was a child and I went there first, I cried when I got there. My sister said, well, that's just some adolescent triggering or something that my brother is going through. I felt something. I cried. Now I know this is Lemuria. This is precious to me. So I became ohana. I became family. I stopped counting the number of times I'd been there after 40. And I had barely even started crying. Then when we started crying, we went back and we took groups, and I wanted to introduce them to the Aloha Spirit and Ohana family. All of these things that I had experienced. Started taking Monika years and years ago, and she instantly felt the same thing. So to see what has happened, it hurts me as much as it hurts anybody, but perhaps, maybe even a little more. So what I wanted to do is just give a little meditation to try to put some energy into it, some love into it. A group of us are going for our annual visit at the end of this year, and we're going to continue this energy, I would say, in that group. I want to have meditations every day that maybe would not have occurred had it not been for what had happened, especially in Lahaina. So that's why we're here, and I wanted to give you that information before we start the meditation.
Thank you, Lee. That was so beautifully said. And as Lee mentioned, we would like to do a meditation to send energy to those in Hawaii. And I want to remind everyone that the islands of Hawaii, it makes up one island nation. And so we want to include all of Hawaii in our prayers that we send. And we know that prayer works. When we say prayers, it goes out into the field and it is delivered to those who you are sending that intention to. And when one or more join together, that effort is amplified. And so I want to invite you to join Lee and I and participate in this experience and send your prayers of support, your prayers of love, your prayers of compassion and benevolence to those on Hawaii, to let them know that we love them, we care for them, we hold them in our hearts. And so here we go. I invite you to close your eyes and remove yourself from all outside distraction just in this moment, so that we can be fully present in the objective of what we wish to do together. And that objective is to focus in on the energy of the Creator, so that we can be in that place of peace, love, togetherness, harmony, balance. And from that place, we send out a wave of love, compassion, benevolence to all those on the island nation of Hawaii. And as we are focusing on this intent, maybe pay attention to your breathing. Let us have some slow breaths now, breathing in through the nose very slowly and then out through the mouth very slowly. And as we continue slowing down our breath, I invite you to place your attention to the area of your heart energy, where you radiate so much love. And as we collectively place our awareness on our heart energy, there is an entrainment that begins to take place. There is a coherence of energy that we are generating together. And in that place of coherent energy, let's continue radiating love and compassion and benevolence to Hawaii. And let us invite Lee to join us in this meditation.
We've been told that visualization has tremendous energy, and that those who are light workers, who are used to meditating and visualizing and sending energy, are almost specialists in it. I would like to visualize full recovery. I want to see a time of rebuilding. I want to see what lessons perhaps were learned in the implementation of things that are much better because of it. I want to see a recovery that is of the heart. I want to see the ohana on the island come together perhaps in a way it hasn't before, even though it is known for family. I want to see positive things and visualize things that we don't even know about yet that will occur because of this. I want to see the joy return that was there before, the smiles of those who live there, who are in grief now, return. Recovery, a beautiful, beautiful word, full recovery. I want to see that for the islands, for the ones hardest hit. I would love you to join me in visualizing that. It takes time. Agreed. But time will crank by, and there may be indeed another time in the future where they gather together and they celebrate what has come from it. They cannot help the fact that it took place, but what comes from it might be beautiful. I visualize a greater love there. I visualize that the tourists who come will be affected in a way that perhaps they wouldn't have before. More than just touring a beautiful place, that they might feel the aloha spirit in a way they never had before. Not just visiting it and going home, but taking it home. There is so much there. This is Lemuria that we speak of. This is what Cryon has said. All of us together, visualizing this recovered group in compassion and love, spreading kindness perhaps in a way that hasn't been done fully before. We don't know what we don't know, according to Cryon. This is what I see. Benevolent future, recovery, and joy. Laughter returning. This is what I see. Help me in this visualization for these on the islands. Love and peace to all of you.
So beautifully shared, Lee, and I had beautiful visualizations that those who go to Hawaii go there wanting to give gifts of love and kindness, and then returning with that love amplified. I think love is one of those things that no matter how much of it you give away, it comes back even more amplified.
That's what we believe. That's what we teach. Thank you all for joining us in this perhaps unexpected meditation. We didn't tell you it was coming or anything, and we don't have to. Love is that way. Thank you again.